Hi Year 11, so I'm going to do a short homework video on how to write the perspective comparison question, paper 2, question 4. And I know that some of you have struggled with this in the past and I want to try and make it seem easier for you. So here we go. This is how you answer the question. This is what we have shown you before. This is what is on your revision cards. Paper 2, question 4 is all about perspective, comparison, inference, deduction and analysis. The main thing about it is the perspective and what perspective means. Perspective is the way we see things. My perspective on things will be different to your perspective on things because we are of a different age, potentially because we're from different countries. It could be because we are of a different sex or gender. There are lots of reasons why your perspective will be different about something. So how do we answer the question? You need to read both texts that you get, and we have attached 2 text to class charts to help you with what I've written later on. Using your highlighter, you will highlight any of the key information regarding perspective and any language or structure thing that helps you understand what the perspective is. You will number everything you've highlighted, 1 being the thing that best answers the question, down to however many you've numbered. And remember, you are comparing the 2 texts, so your points in each text should be about the same things. And then you will write them down in a structured way on the paper. We have gone through this with you before, so let's look at that structure in a bit more detail. This question is worth 16 marks and you will spend about 20 minutes answering it. We structure it using PEPPA plus O. We have gone through this with you in class before lots of times. O is the overall sentence at the end, but PEPPA is the main way we answer this question. So let's break PEPPA down a little bit more. It stands for Point Evidence A Perspective Analysis compared to Evidence B Perspective Analysis. PEPPA is 1 paragraph and you will write 3 of them in your answer. Each PEPPA paragraph is worth 5 marks and you get 1 mark for the overall statement at the end. Again, we have gone through this question with you at least 5 times this year, whether it's in class or whether it is in masterclasses. You should know what PEPPA means. Okay, here are some sentence starters that you could use to help you answer the question. For P, one of the differences found in the 2 texts is that in source A, for the evidence, this can be seen where she or he or the name says. P, their perspective on the situation is that. Remember, perspective is the key thing in this question. For the analysis, this suggests that, which can be seen through the use of a language or structure technique which shows that. For the comparison, however, or similarly, depending on what the question was, in source B, for the evidence, this can be seen where he or she says. For the perspective, this suggests that their perspective is. For the analysis, this suggests that, which can be seen through the use of language or structure technique, which shows that. So you're going to do those 3 times and then you write an overall statement. Overall, it appears that the 2 writers had different or similar perspectives on the situation. A key reason for this is due to when they were written or due to who they are. You give a reason why. So pause this recording now to jot down some of these sentence starters or find your revision cards where we gave you all these revision starters. So here is an example of a paper 2 question 4. We have already gone through this question with you in class, that is why I'm using it. Look at the whole of source A and the whole of source B. Compare how the writers convey their different perspectives and feelings about the children growing up. Write about their different perspectives and feelings. The methods, that's language and structure, the writers use to convey their different perspectives and feelings, and quotations from both texts. In 2 of the bullet points, they are specifically talking about perspectives. That is where some of you go wrong. You want to analyse language and structure, but that is not what you are doing. You are analysing their perspective. So let me try and make it a little bit clearer. I've had a go at writing a PEPPA. I've broken it up into the 8 sections of my paragraph. For my first point, one of the differences between the texts is their perspective on how quickly their children are growing up. Remember, the question was about their perspectives on children growing up. Pause this recording now just to reread the 2 texts so you understand what I am talking about for the rest of this PEPPA. So I've got my point. I now need to move on to my evidence in source A. In source A, this can be seen when he says his son is blasting ahead. So I've given a quotation to show what his perspective is. But now I need to highlight to the examiner what his perspective actually is, which is the second P. His perspective on the situation is that his son is progressing quickly. That is what his perspective is. His son is growing up quite fast. He seems quite pleased about it. My analysis of this suggests that he is happy his son is growing up and learning to do new and more things. Now, I could go into loads more detail talking about the fact that the verb blasting shows us that he is moving like a rocket, but I don't have to. I need to just carry on with my perspective. So, my comparison sentence. However, in source B, the writer does not appear to be as happy that her son has grown up. I've done a different perspective for both sources. My evidence. This can be seen through the list. So I've actually used a structural feature in my comparison, which is perfectly fine, of things. She tells us replace lost buttons and obliterate mud stains. I've still given an example quotation, but in my first perspective, it was a language point. My second perspective was a structure point. So what does that perspective show us? Her perspective on this is that she wishes she could still do these things for him. That's why she's giving us a list of the things she misses. And my analysis, the writer really misses the way he relied on her and wants him to go back to showing she wished he had not grown up as quickly. So very clearly, I have shown the different perspective. Number 1, he is quite happy about the progress. She is sad about the progress. She wishes he wasn't growing up quickly. He's pleased his son is growing up quickly. So that is one PEPPA, and I would join that all together in one paragraph. Pause this recording now to have a go at writing your own PEPPA in a grid like this based on the 2 extracts we've attached to class charts. Now, I have only written one example because you are year 11 and I trust that you can do this more than once. As we have told you, you will write 3 PEPPAs. They are worth 5 marks each. So pause this recording now to have a go at writing 2 more PEPPAs based on the question that I just mentioned previously. If you want to upload these to class charts, you can either send it to me or your class teacher, who will happily have a look at them for you. But I just want to look quickly now at the overall statement that goes at the end. I've written quite a long one here. They don't have to be this long. Overall, the 2 writers have different opinions and perspectives on their children growing up. A reason for these differences could be due to when they are written. Source A is a more modern text. Where in society we are now used to children growing up quickly and moving on. The first text is a lot older, where due to a lack of money and technology, children tended to stay home longer, meaning it was more of a hardship for parents when they grew up and left. I could have left it there, but I've given a separate reason as well. It could also be because of the gender of the writers. Stereotypically, women are closer to their children, so that could be why the text written by the female is more sad. She is losing her child. That is my overall statement that will get me my final mark for the question. If you have any more questions about Paper 2 Question 4, please do not hesitate to speak to a member of the English team. Good luck in your exam.